some of my favorites.
Really?
Yes.
Please don't let them do the remake of that.
No. Well, I can't stop them if they do, but...
Can we define this your European film? I don't know how is it in America, the Formula One, but...
This is very much a European independent movie that Peter Morgan, the writer, who's also a producer on the movie, he launched it, and I was invited to join, and myself and the editors are the only Hollywood elements in the whole movie. I think if it hadn't been for my Dan Brown experiences, Da Vinci Code and Angels and Demons, I might not have had the courage to believe that I could collaborate well with European actors and an international crew, and do something convincing and authentic, like Rush had to be. But I was grateful for those experiences and very excited for the possibility to come back to Europe and dig deeper and try to do something that would truly be, have integrity and ring true to international audiences.
They say that the 70s was a period where sex was safe and driving was unsafe. Do you miss those fabulous 70s, and is those nostalgia element?
I do have nostalgia for the 70s, and I don't think that Rush could have taken place in any other era, because it was a time of recklessness, but also a sort of optimism, and so there was the sexual revolution, there was drug experimentation, there were some things that were not sustainable and ultimately proved to be dangerous. But there was also this excitement that so much more was possible. So it was really an energy, a glamour, a sexuality that I wanted to capture in Rush.
James Hunt is a wild man, is a wild hero. Do you recognize some of that wildness in you as being a director, maybe in the past?
There's not very much of James Hunt that I can find in myself. I've known some James Hunts, and I have a lot of love and respect for some people that I would sort of put in that category. But I'm much more of a Niki Lauda. Lauda achieved, all the greatness that he achieved, both on the track and then later as a businessman, not because he thought he was naturally talented, but because he had the concentration and the will to keep growing, learning, and struggling to achieve. Whereas James was a kind of just a remarkable natural talent, yes, a wild man, but more than just one thing. He was a very complex individual.
Tell me about fascination with cars. Do you think a car can define a status of a man nowadays? Are you like that?
Well, I think cars still reflect, who a person wants to be, how they want to be seen. Me, I drive Chevy Suburbans and Volvos because I'm still kind of a family guy. My kids are grown, but now I have grandkids, and they're around me all the time, and they're the joy of my life. But I've never been a guy who's excited about fast cars. I know that's criminal to say in the land of Ferrari. And in fact, I visited the factory. Mr. Monticello gave me a tour. It was fantastic. Niki Lauda drove me around the track really fast a couple of times. It was cool. And on the way out, somebody said, "Well, maybe you'd like to own a Ferrari." And of course, I very politely said, "Sure." And yeah, of course, I suppose I would. But a Ferrari would be entirely wasted on me.
I always ask, what was the poster hanging on your wall when you were a kid?
When I was a kid, I had posters from Frank Capra, Mr. Smith Goes to Washington, and Mike Nichols, The Graduate, and also John Ford, The Grapes of Wrath, and Darling Clementine. And those are the first movies that I really fell in love with.
There is a fabulous pictures on the internet. Let's talk a little bit memory lane. There is you, a little kid, with Spielberg, George Lucas, Scorsese, and Robert Zemeckis. Yeah. How were those times, and how did they treat you? Like the new kid on the block? How did they...
Well, Yeah, Zemeckis and I were sort of the younger members of that fraternal order, but George, Francis Coppola, Marty Scorsese, Steven, they kind of took us under their wing a little bit, and it's always been a great honor, great honor to me, and I still have so much excitement for the movies that any of those guys make.
Grazie.
Thanks.